Okay, so I just want to let you know that I have decided for the office as a whole, I've purchased it for you guys. So you don't have to pay for it.
Yes!
Good.
You don't have to pay for it. There was a couple things I was looking at. I'm going to be honest. There was a couple things I was looking at spending a little bit of money on. I'm also someone who's very like, it's got to be worth it, right? I need to make sure. I don't like to like throw my money away. I like to keep my money. So
I can't help
I don't
you.
but at the same time, there's certain things I really do think bring value for clients and kind of give us an edge with competition. And I think this is one of them. So I am going to let you take the floor and do your whole thing because he'll do a much better job than I will.
Thank you, Heidi.
Turn off my phone.
Guys, morning. This is Alan from MoveSnap. As I was telling sir as well, we work with clients all across Canada. And the first thing when Gemma walked into the room, she was like, I hate moving and I'm moving. And it's stressful. And this is what clients go today, go through every day. Like when they're, buying or selling, first-time buyers, even they're leasing. There's so much that goes on. There's a lot of emotions. And that's where we come in as an extension of your team. So think of us as an extension of your team, an extension of your brand, right? Now I wanted to kind of walk you through, some of the so this is, kind of the journey of what the client goes through, right? Once the deal goes firm and all the way till move-in and beyond, right? And there's a lot of time where clients feel that my agent gave me, a checklist and I'm calling my agent and the agent wants to help me, but everyone's a salesperson. We got to move on to our next deal. There's so much happening, right? And I don't have the time to be researching and giving you all the ideas. So it's a lot of gap here. A lot of clients feel that I'm not getting as much help or I don't know what to do, right? So that's where we kind of come in, right? And obviously when you help someone, it's a lot of hand-holding, high touch. When you can get some of them through that stressful time, it's when you're like, okay, like it was an amazing deal. Not only do I, when I'm talking to my friends and family, I'm talking to my house about, how beautiful the house, is when I bought it, but also my agent. He or she is my agent, right? That is the ideal, state you want to be as a realtor, right? Anyone, right? So that is where we kind of heading towards. So basically, it is, an extreme kind of blend between technology and concierge. Right? So obviously, a lot of us as, tech savvy and we have our devices in Apple, and iPads and all that. So we have obviously a technology side of it. So you can do a lot of things yourself. And then there's obviously human touch to it. So as a concierge, I'm here to kind of help you with everything you need, right? And that kind of explains, some idea in terms of kind of walking the clients through the whole situation. Before we kind of get into move plans and how do we want to help them, I want to hear you out. I want to hear your move story. What happened? We have clients who sometimes cry on the phone. I have separation happenings, young kids. So many things happen, right? So I want to understand that. I want to hear that out, and then only then we can kind of customize and approach towards you, get you calm and focused, right? In terms of what are we expecting in the next weeks or months. So that was the kind of overview of what we do now, how it works. On the brokerage side, we keep it pretty simple. So what we'll work with Jack and and Heidi on the management side. We'll get the brokerage to send out invites to the clients, and I'll show you how it looks. Give me 1 second. So Jackie is one of the examples we've taken as a realtor. So basically, we send out the invites to the clients as part of the coming from the realtor, right? So it's branded obviously from Jackie in this case. And the email kind of gives a quick summary of what it is, so, and some of the things that will help them and more. So when the client gets this email, there's a link in the email which says click here to get started. So they accept it, right? Now for us to be able to send out these invites on a regular basis, it's really important that agents are providing the emails for the clients on the deal sheet, right? So if you guys can, every broker you work with, it's really important that that email field is required because you think of it as a permission. So before the concierge can even talk to the client has to accept it. That okay, I'm accepting to talk to the concierge from my realtor side, right? So this email has to go out, right, as an acceptance before we can even talk to the clients. So make sure your emails are provided on the deal sheet, right? And that's it. It's all totally automated. You don't have to think about it. Now, how it works on the client side, as I said, it's a blend of technology and concierge. So the concierge, would reach out to the client once you set up. Once we have a client set up, the concierge would reach out to the client. They introduce themselves. Hey, I'm the concierge, and I work with Jackie Jones or whoever the realtor is, right? I'm part of their team, and I'm here to kind of help you with everything. We do a quick 10-15 minute consultation call. So we kind of have, again, they discuss that move story, understand their dynamics, are they upsizing, downsizing, are they first-time buyer, seller, investor, pre-construction lease, right? What is the situation like, right? How many bedrooms do you have? Do you have any specialty items, gym equipments, pianos, whatever, right? So depending on the whole situation, we kind of then get into creating a roadmap of all the things we got to do, right? So again, having that discussion, creating a roadmap, and then we start working on the move depending on what the client wants us to work on ASAP, right? So as a client, I would have a concierge working on my move. Along with that, then comes the technology part of it. So we give them their own personal dashboard, so that as a client, I can do it whenever I want. So we would have a lot of clients, who would work on their move late nights, early mornings, whenever they have time, right? So you could do a lot of things yourself, making the whole process efficient, right? So as a client, I could come to my dashboard. I want to do my utilities. I click on Move Utilities. The system will detect automatically who's my current and future providers according to locations, right? So we collect addresses from the clients once we talk to them and all that. Usually, I think we got the list from the office, and we saw a lot of addresses there. So it'll be easier, if we can have the addresses there, it'll be easier. If not, then we'll get it from the clients. So the dashboard will tell them, who the providers are. In this case, the client is moving from, Edmonton to Toronto, just an example. So it'll tell you your water, gas, hydro. All the client has to do is simply click on disconnect or connect. They'll get a form, fill it up, submit, and they're done. Making it extremely easy. For example,
online.
Yeah. So I'm gonna click on hydro. I'm gonna connect my hydro. Just follow steps here, homeowner. So I'll get a form, fill it up, submit. I'll get a confirmation email directly from my provider, and in minutes, done. Right. So I could do my hydro, gas, water all from here. Right. Now, obviously, we would have sometimes, senior clients who would say, like, I'm not tech savvy. Can you do it for us? Right. We can. Of course, because the concierge, again, we want to help the clients, the way they want to be helped. So we would have, clients who would ask us to do it for them. Obviously, in those cases, we would need some of their confidential information in terms of like their birthdays, account numbers, and all that. So if you're doing it for them, we take the realtor's permission, because the agent has to allow us to be, able to kind of handle their confidential information and do utilities for them. But we can do them because a lot of clients would ask us to do it, because they're busy or they're not tech savvy or whatever, right? So we can do them. If they want to do it themselves, it takes literally minutes, right? So to be honest, we have stats for it. 95% of clients would actually want to do it themselves, because it takes minutes. Why wouldn't you, right? So super easy. So I can do all that from here. Similarly, I could update my addresses and IDs. So everything from forwarding my mail, CRA, driver licenses, health cards, vehicle registrations, you name it, right? For example, I'm going to forward my mail. I click on it, we break it down step by step. Once you're ready, click on the button on the bottom, fill up the form, make the payment, whatever Canada Post charges you for mail forwarding, and that's it. In minutes I've done my mail forwarding. I want to do my provincial services, my driver license, vehicle registration, health card, scroll down, click on the button. You hear that a lot.
Just moved.
So, you can just do it from here. You don't even have to go to Service Ontario, just do it from here, they'll send it to a new place. Making it extremely easy for the client, right?
Anytime you don't have to go to Service Ontario, it's a good thing.
We hate it, yeah. But so, and then everything beyond that, right? So these are the usual, utilities and addresses. But then what about, arranging a move, right? A lot of clients are like, guys, I don't know. Like, do I need a mover? Can I do it with a truck? How much will it cost? I don't know, right? So the concierge would have that discussion with the client to understand, how many bedrooms do you have? Do you have any specialty items, gym equipments, pianos, whatever, right? So depending on your needs, budget, locations, availability, and all that, we help you shop around and find 2 to 3 options, for, say, a storage, truck, movers. So this is, one of the examples kind of illustrates, so we can shop around with the client to see what are the ratings and reviews, what are the options, and which one does the client like, so that we can kind of reach out for an estimate, right? Now, having said that, a lot of realtors would ask, like, guys, who are the companies you're recommending? Are these random people, or like, do you Google them, right? So the way we work, is basically, when we started off, it was really important for us to be able to ask our agents, like, guys, who do you recommend and trust? So in every market that we work with, obviously now after thousands of movies, we have a set of network of vendors, but in the beginning, so we would ask our agents in every market, like, guys, who do you trust and recommend. So that's how we have, a common set of like, movers or plumbers or, whatever, truck storage in every market.
So we give you this information?
Oh, we already have them now. That's how we started though. That's how we started when we started out, like, 2-3 years back. We were piloting it in, in every market, including Barrie. Like, we would kind of ask our agents. Now, obviously, we work with some of the top, brokerages and teams. So now it's common. We know like everyone has a common set of vendors in every market. So now it's fine. But at the beginning, that's how we started, right? So it's, that's better for us than to like randomly Googling companies and giving them to the clients who we don't even have no idea like how they're legit or not, right? So now we have the vetting team. And all that. So if the clients can kind of click on this, how do we pick our movers? It lists a few things that we kind of follow to maintain our network of vendors, right? So making sure their licenses are legit and they have enough BBB ratings and so on and so forth, right? So that was that. Similarly, we helped them with managing home services. So everything from cable TV, internet, home phone, right? I mean, we would have clients who would be like, guys, can I transfer my Rogers to the new address? Sure. However, a lot of times clients are like, guys, I'm looking for a new provider. So we can also help you shop around and get bundles for cable TV, internet, home phone, depending on your how many gigs do you want, what is your budget, and all that, right? So again, depending on what the client needs, and then we have insurance. So everything from home, health, auto, life, tenant. Again, we can help them shop around and get quotes for insurance. Now, if you want to simply notify your current insurance provider, we can do that as well. So depending on what you need, right? And then we have exclusive savings. So depending on the location of the client, we have partnerships with some of the national brands where we can get the clients exclusive discounts to services that they might need down the line. So things like locksmiths, home maintenance, buying moving boxes, discount truck, junk removal, home alarm systems, so on and so forth, right? And everything beyond. I mean, guys, again, what is really important that when we talk to the clients, it is really important that to understand that we are representing the realtors team, right? So we are not there to push services or market vendors. What we are there to do is basically understand what the client needs and give them a couple of options. So that makes their search easier, right? And not only that, facilitate it and actually get it done, right? To give an example, I was telling Heidi the other day, we had a client, who's we moving from Halifax to Ontario. They were like, guys, I don't know anyone in Ottawa. Can you find us a local doctor? Sure. Well, can you book us 4 weeks of Airbnb? Right, so we arranged everything for them. Right, and then we had a senior couple the other day from BC. They're like, guys, our couch isn't fitting in from the hallway. How do we get the couch in? Right, so we found them a couple of movers with a hoist to pick up their couch and get it to the balcony. Right, so I mean, no, we had. I mean,
No, just kidding.
yeah, no, actually, so they said like, should I get a chainsaw? Like, how do we get the?
Seat now. The client calls you, the client calls us.
No, so again, like once you've set up the client, we kind of take over. So the client has the concierge's, personal cell phone, their email, their number. So they're texting, calling the concierge directly, right? So they don't even have to. Oh, sorry. They don't even have to, ask the realtor for anything because we kind of take over, right? Now, the important part is, the realtor is always in the loop. So you'll be getting, the concierge emails you from time to time, not bombards you, but emails you from time to time to let you know that, okay, hey, we're working with Jason right now to help him, find a mover or whatever. So that again, you're updated, right? Now, obviously on your dashboard, you would have, your chat box on the realtor side as well. So, you can always pull up the chat and, or you would have the concierge's number as well. So you can always text them, like, guys, can you tell me, like, with this client, what is going on? What is the update? Sure, right? We can always let you know.
They're always pushing the fact that we provided the service. Even though they're doing
Yep.
the service, they let the clients know, like, it's provided as a courtesy. It's on
Yep.
behalf of us.
Yeah, so basically, we also like, send Jack and the management like the brochures, right? It's branded for, the brokerage as well. So it's really important the realtors are presenting this, in front of the buyers and sellers as their concierge, right? It's really important because the clients have to understand right at the beginning, okay, what am I getting from my realtor, right? So again, the marketing side of it is really important. So positioning this as your concierge, pushing this as your concierge is really important so that they kind of have that trust. Okay, my agent is providing me all the support I need, right? So we've given them designs. A lot of realtors will put it on on their website as their concierge. We have a couple of client-facing videos, quick 1 minute, so you can social media. Again, the more you do it, the better, right? Because it kind of creates engagement, right? With the audience. So that's that, and everything beyond. I mean, I can go on and on, but that's the overall kind of concept. Questions, first thoughts? Anything you guys wanted to ask?
Are you just in Canada right now?
Just in Canada, we're piloting, a couple of cities in the U.S., Florida and Texas, but still in pilot. I mean, it takes a little time, but yeah.
How do we start agents? Like what?
Yeah. So basically, so what now is basically all you have to do is starting today. Just make sure that whenever you're submitting the deal sheet, it has the client's name and the email.
So we're gonna add a field to our deal sheet that has their email, and maybe what I'll get Nadia to do is put email for MoveSnap.
Yeah.
Just so that it reminds
Yeah,
you,
that's a great idea.
this is what it's for,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
you remember to put that email in, and then.
Yeah. So basically, every week we'll get Nadia to send us a list of all the
She's
clients,
loving me right now because I'm making her another full job.
and all we'll
She looked really
do.
impressed with me the other day. Yeah.
All we'll do is we'll send out the invites on behalf of you guys. You don't have to do anything. Just make sure that your email is mentioned and the client's name is mentioned on the deal sheet. That's it.
So then at the end of every week, from the office side of things, we're gonna submit, so you don't even have to do this, we're gonna submit a report to them,
Yeah.
giving them all the deals from the week,
So
and
how
the
do-
contact
So
information
what,
for your
how do we
client.
get a profile to check in on everything?
So we then, I guess, is
So the
it
profiles have been created for you guys.
Yeah,
What
we
we'll do
already
is
have your
we'll
profile.
ask the team to, because we were not sending out the emails right now because you'll be like, what is this?
Yeah, we want to do this
Yeah.
first today, so you know what
So
we're getting.
going forward, we'll send you like the activation emails for your profiles, for your dashboard. So you would have, you would set a password and your login would be your email. So you'd be able to kind of go to your, sorry, give me 1 second. So here, when you log into your dashboard, you'll be able to see all the clients that that are kind of invited on behalf of you, right? So you'll be able to see all the list of clients, and then their statuses.
So
as
I
well.
have a question for you.
Yeah.
When the invites go out, so we send you guys our list at the end
Yep.
of every week, then you send the
Yeah.
invites out to the clients?
So we'll send out the invites to the clients on behalf of the agents, specific agents, because the branding will be kind of affected depending on which agent we choose, their headshot and all that, right? So when you'll be able to log into your profile, you'll be able to see all the clients and their statuses, and they kind of get updated as the clients kind of move into, different stages. So we kind of update it so you can keep a track of what's going on. And then you have the chat box, you can always pull it up and ask if you have any questions about a specific client, or you would have the phone number of the success managers, you can call them, guys, can you tell me what's going on with this client? Right, giving you easy kind of access to any information,
Are you
right?
going to work with the same concierge all the time?
Yeah, so usually we have for brokerages, we usually keep, depending on what volumes you do, usually we have 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the number is, and we keep it consistent because it's really important that not only the clients are getting consistent experience, but we know, and the concierge knows which team are we working with. And what are you guys staying for in terms of brand and how the team works and all that. It's all about being consistent, right? So every week if we give you a new one, they wouldn't know, they wouldn't have that personal relationship with
Yeah, that's great.
the office, right? So it's really important to be consistent. So yes, yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
what about if you have a client that's moving from Barrio to BC?
Yeah.
Like a military transfer or something like that?
Yeah, again, long distance, short distance move, doesn't matter what type of move it is. Also, it's really important, a lot of questions, clients would ask us, guys, my client is buying investment property. They're not actually moving. Should I, give this to me? Sure, because any family and every family would need something to be done. So even if you're buying an investment property, you still have to get the utilities on your name, and insurance on your name, right? So there's still so much you have to do, right? And everything beyond. One thing which is really cool about this is we do not, cut off the access for the client once they moved in. We actually continue to have it on because we would have clients who would call us 3 months, 6 months down the line asking for, oh guys, you do have a landscaper, can you give me a roofer, whatever. Right. Also, it's really important that sometimes clients would come back to us saying that, oh guys, I was telling Jack as well, last year we moved a client who was leasing, and then this year in the morning, in the beginning of the year, they called us saying that they're buying their first condo. So they were like, guys, we loved the concierge. Last time, I'm looking to buy a condo. Can I use the concierge? So we were like, okay, who's the realtor? So they were like, I'm still looking around. So we called the realtor who invited them the first time as a lease to kind of connect with the client.
Oh, you do? That's awesome.
Because you never know.
Go and
So
some-
don't hesitate
You don't
for
go
the
and give
rentals.
somebody else.
No, I mean again, for us, it's really important that whoever is the realtor, they also have a long-term relationship with the client as much as we want to have a long-term relationship with the realtor and the client, right? So it is all interconnected, right? And we want to make sure it's consistent, right? Sorry.
So further to that question, Jack's question, and maybe you said this already, but sometimes I'm kind of working on a possible relocation, I noticed you have like toss away your junk and storage, and sometimes people need to like declutter.
Yeah.
So they want to maybe get in touch with the concierge before they even
Sure.
give a trade sheet to get them signed up.
Yeah.
They get engaged like early on to start booking their storage.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Location and moving and quotes and the rest of that.
Yeah, so we would have, a lot of realtors who would, send this like concierge to their clients even before the house is listed. Because there's sometimes, as you said, there's a lot of things that clients would need, junk removal, getting the house painted,
Yes.
staging and all. I mean, there's a lot of things, right? So you got to, prepare the house and all that. So yes, if you think, that this client will need, more help before the house is listed or so on and so forth, sure.
So the email address is sent to the office?
Yeah, so you submit, every week we collect the,
It'll be on your trade sheet. We'll have a spot
Yeah.
for
No,
it.
but like what he said
Yes, you
before
would have to send it
fire.
to us.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have to ask the office to send it to us so we can send out the one-off invites if it's really
So
urgent.
you want to do an early.
It's an
Well, there was a pop-up there too that said invite my client.
yeah, so that is for agents if you want to do it manually. The reason why we don't keep it manual is because it's just too much work and consistency is is hard. So what I would suggest, if you do have a client and you think you should be sent out urgently, just send it to the office and Nadia can send it to us and we can send it a one-off. It's not a big deal. It just takes
You have to wait till the end of that.
yeah, for us it takes seconds to send it off from our back end. So it's super
Is there
easy.
any way we can do it by ourselves? No?
You can. I can show it to you.
So then,
The only problem with that for us on the office side.
It'll be hard to track.
Is I've paid for a set number of what I think we're going to do for deals. Like, if
Yeah.
you were to pay for this yourself, it's quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
In each person. So what I've done is I've bought a bundle for the year of deals. And if you're sending it yourself, we won't be able to track where we're at.
Oh,
If we
I
need to
see.
add deals, it's
Also-
just much easier.
Also, what'll happen is
If the system's working for us as an
Yeah.
office, if
Al-
we're taking advantage.
also what'll happen is if you do, for example, you invited the client and then they send it off in that list as well. So it'll be our system will kind of give it an error because the invite will already been sent. So it'll be because a double invite. So it'll be a lot of issues. So trying to make sure just consistent, just send it to the office. Sorry.
Is it safe to send the list of clients to you guys? You don't want to do anything with that?
No, for sure. Yeah. That's a good question
We will
though.
lose the office contracts with a lot of offices if they start doing that.
So that's a good question.
Yeah.
A lot of realtors
They're
do
not in
ask
real
us.
estate.
Yeah, so a lot of realtors either do you guys have a broker license? Do you run a license, or do you sell it to companies for just info, selling them to duct cleaning or whatever? Obviously not, because when we work with, as Heidi said, so many brokerages across the country, and then builders and so on and so forth. If you start doing that, everything will collapse, right? So it's really important that making sure that brokerages have. So we have obviously servers and everything dedicated to specific brokerages, so its information stays the same. Now, if one more thing, I'll talk to you later in terms of making sure that we have the updated roster and all that, so we can keep account of who's in which office
Yeah,
and so on and so
every time
forth.
someone
Yeah,
joins, we can add
yeah,
them to the
absolutely,
roster.
absolutely. Sorry.
what if I like a particular painter or particular mover? Would you recommend that particular person?
Great
to
question,
my
yeah.
clients,
So, yeah, so what I would suggest is, and I told Heidi as well, if you guys can send us a list of all the realtors on the office or the brokerage if they
We have
have.
a preferred list
Please.
that we've made up.
Yeah, so send us a list of,
services
yeah.
that we trust because people have had good experiences.
Sure, yeah, so a lot of brokerages would have that relationships. Sometimes brokerages would have discount coupons for specific junk removal, whatever. So if we do have any,
For stores too.
awesome. So send us a list of the preferred vendors and we can add it to the list so that next time the concierge is talking, they're like, guys, do you have a plumber? We know who to go to first, right? As an option. Sorry.
So just feeding into that, how often is the software updated?
As in the dashboard?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically in terms of on the back end, so a lot of it, it's involved, kind of having this connections with some of these utility companies and, the government and all that, the forms and all that. So the way we do is we've kind of connected it with their server. So any forms that they update, right, or any changes that they make are made right away, overnight, because our servers are connected with them, right? So you don't have to be the form is not, it's outdated or whatever. So it's the real time basically, right? So it's updated as they change it. In terms of the vendors and all that, there's a dedicated team who kind of make sure that the vendors are in business, they have the licenses. So it's thorough checks every quarter, every season. So we kind of make sure that the licenses and insurances are all up to date, right?
And is there a feedback mechanism if we're like, hey, this feature would be super cool?
From the realtor to us?
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
if I wanted
yeah,
to say,
sure.
Or my client had a really horrible experience.
Please.
with this
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would send Jack, Drashti's number. So Drashti, we've kind of allocated her to the brokerage, so she's one of the success managers. So if you have any feedback, if you want to ask anything about the client, if we do have any information about the client you're about to invite. Sometimes you would have clients, realtors be like, guys, this client is a senior client, can you call them on their cell? Or call them after 6 p.m. Or any information you think would be helpful, definitely send it to them. So send it to her, ask her for feedback, if you have anything about the client or you want to give feedback. She'll be your direct point, so anything you can tell us and we'll be able to it always helps to kind of learn as you because again, you guys know the industry well, the best, right? So anything you think we should add or whatever, send it to us, please.
And I can send everybody her contact information. We've met her also.
Yeah. Sorry.
So to tie those two things together, what if we use a service that's not on Crosstown's preferred list, say, for example, like
Well,
we have
that's okay.
like can we send her, that same girl, say, hey, with these
Sure.
clients,
Yeah.
I'd like you to go through these vendors first for these
Yeah,
things.
yeah. So I mean, usually what we find is, clients usually, as we all we like to have 2-3 options, right? So definitely, if you can send us your personal vendors as well. Again, still under Crosstown on the same team. So if you do have any vendors, definitely send it to us. We'll add them to the list. So that, at least we know we can have one easy recommendation because we know, okay, realtor, this realtor really trusts them, so we know they're good. Now let's give them 2 more, depending on what the client wants, right? Sometimes clients don't like all 3 and they're like, oh, give me 2 more. Okay, let's scramble for something else.
So the client calls you to get those?
No, I mean, so we would have that discussion on the phone initially, right? So we'll kind of discuss that. Have you looked at insurance? Have you
So
looked
you
at this?
call them?
Yeah, so we speak to them initially to kind of understand. So we kind of discuss all the things that they might need for that specific move. Sorry, yeah.
Does MoveSnap have any sort of agreement with the companies that you're referring?
No, so
Revenue stream there?
good question. Yeah. So we don't. We partner up with all these vendors. However, we do not charge them, any cut on the job because the problem is when you start doing that, the end cost for the client goes up, right? And again, the whole idea is, again, as I said initially, the idea is not to be pushing or selling, companies or services to the client. The idea is to be the part of the realtors team, to facilitate the move and help them. So if anything, that's why we have exclusive savings down here, because if anything, we want the client to be getting the market value or discounted price, not a premium price, right? So yeah, but however, we're very strict. I mean, as much as we partner up with them, it's it's very strict in terms of the paperwork and all that they have to submit, because again, it's all about brand, your brand, our brand, everyone's on stake, right? So it's really, you have to be careful with the with say movers. Movers are tricky ones because usually even the best of them will mess up 1 out of 10 times, right? So yeah.
Is there a feedback mechanism where agents, because sometimes a company can be good one year and things deteriorate, staff changes and that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. One more thing, because you spoke about feedback, it's really important. I'm going to wrap it up. I don't want to keep you guys for a long time, but I was showing it to Heidi as well. Let me see if I can pull it up. Give me 1 second. So basically, what we do. A lot of agents we talk to, in the brokerages, they're like, guys, as much as we want to get, testimonials and we've done an amazing job with our client, but I want to also get a testimonial from them, maybe a review.
Disconnected.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to pull up my.
No, I mean from the screen.
I'll disconnect. I'll connect it again. Give me 1 second. So basically, a lot of agents are like, guys, I don't have the time to, ask my client because I just forget because I'm so busy in the next deal. I just don't get a time to, get a testimonial from my client or whatever. Or I'm not sure how to ask. Should I write them a card or I don't know, right? So what we do is, because the concierge would have the relationship with the client over several weeks and months, we want to use this opportunity to, get it for you as part of your team. So the concierge would collect a 3-question survey. This is an example how it looks. I don't know if it's clear enough, but we collect a 3-question survey from the client and we send it straight to you. So we do not publish it anywhere. It's an internal survey, so we send it straight to you. So that, because the agents like the fact that, okay, once I get this, I can use it on social media, but before that I can pick up my phone and call the client and be like, hey Jason, I got your survey, thank you for the kind words, would you mind if I use it on social media? Sure, go ahead. But it gives you another touch point to pick up the phone and kind of touch base with them and kind of thank them and so on and so forth, and check in, right? And then you can use them on social media as a testimonial. A lot of realtors would dissect it, use a part of it on social media as a testimonial Tuesday or whatever you want to use, right? And then you can use a part of it on your website as a testimonial, totally your call. Now, along with this, if you do have a Google and a Facebook business page, we can also ask the client to rate you there as well. so that we can automate the entire testimonial process. So you don't even have to think about it. Automatically keeps flowing in.
So on that note, how do we talk with a concierge that works on our account, or?
No, so basically the concierge will collect it from the client, and they'll send it to you,
Okay.
to your email. So.
If we have a Google business account or something?
Yeah, so I mean, what we'll do is, do you guys have it on your website? So,
I do.
Yeah, so usually, when we set up the accounts, like individual profiles for you guys, we'll research all your social media platforms and we'll update it on behalf of you. So you don't have to. But if you have an updated link, send it to Drashti. Send it to her and she'll update it. So, we also, it also shows here on the social media things. So as a client, if I want, I can still click on Facebook and go to, whatever. Sorry, I mean, this is a thing, but yeah, I could go to my website as well. So, but it's really important so that we can automate the testimonial process so it automatically keeps flowing in and helps you. I mean, again, the more testimonials you have, as anything, like when we're going for any service, as a client, I'm always looking for those reviews and what are other people saying. So nothing better than this. I know a lot of people spend $1,000 on social media, on Google reviews and all that, but you can just do it, yourself. It's super easy, right? Yeah.
Right. How many offices in Barrie are using this service?
A lot of them. I mean,
So I think there's two other offices.
Brokerages?
Brokerages, but then there's a lot of agents and all.
a lot of agents, a lot of teams.
Agents paying for it themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, a lot of huge
So
teams,
there's only a couple
brokerages.
brokerages
Yeah,
that are
doing this.
But there's agents. A lot of agents are starting to get on their own or teams.
Yeah.
A lot of the bigger teams.
Yeah, sorry.
Are there fees to the actual client?
No, so it's totally free for the client, but if you only get it from the realtor,
Cheap.
right? So it's totally it's exclusive platform. So clients cannot call us and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna use the concierge," because if a realtor does not work with us, we cannot. We don't work with just clients alone. You have to get it from your realtor, right? So it's free for the client, but if you get it from your realtor. Anything else? Any questions, thoughts?
Can we add them now?
We sent a list of the deals that were written in August. We're closing in August.
Yeah,
something
so
like
we
that.
got the
We
list.
went back and did a bit of them that were relevant, that would, make sense.
Now, so we got a list from, for August. However, the problem is on that list is only, I think it's about 80 or something agents on. Only 2 emails for the clients.
Only two, so we'll have to go back.
No
and look
emails.
at
Yeah, so I think,
No, this is just on Friday. So we were just working, we just signed up. So it's just.
so Heidi, again, we can talk later, but there's 2 ways of doing it. Either you guys can update the list and send it to us again, or
I'm not sure why Nadia didn't.
Drashti, could you reach out to the agents individually and
Right.
ask for the email?
Okay.
Whichever you want, we'll figure it out,
We'll figure it
but either
So,
ways.
We'll probably send you guys an email, to be honest, or a page. I think the best thing would be, because there's so many people, if there's anybody who has deals, we'll take the list, we'll reach out to you. You have to get back to us though, if we're gonna be able to do it. We have to get back to us and shoot us an email. Don't text it to me. Send it back to whoever sends you the email. So I'll see who's got time to kind of go through them.
Yeah.
Elena or something, and then we'll do that.
Once we over the first cycle, then going forward it'll be smooth, right? Going forward, just submit it. Make sure every client has the email. And again, as I said, don't be unsure about this transaction. It's a seller, but it's a buyer. I don't know if it's this really helpful. It's helpful. Doesn't matter what type. If it's a rental, you have a client, you set them up as soon as the deal goes firm. So as soon as we get the list from by the end of every week, we'll send it off. Right, and if you do have any information about the client in terms of what preferred times to call, or any cell phone number, if you have a direct number, anything would help. So always let that come in. Feedback, anything you have, any suggestions, is always open, because again, that's how we learn, right? I mean, if you guys can tell us, we can improve our service. Oh, guys, can you add this on, that on? Sure, right? We can always look into it, right? So that's that. That's all I had to say. Anything else? Or let's wrap it up. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
I'm gonna turn on the
Pleasure.
lights.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's always hard.